The film Gauravam, directed by Radha Mohan, stars Allu Sirish and Yami Gautam in the lead, cinematography by Preetha, and the music by Taman. Now, all big names involved in the movie, so one would expect that, okay, here comes a real humdinger of a movie. The topic, as one could guess, when the title is Gauravam, is all about pride or honor. But honor in this case is all about honor killings, which is actually a very dishonorable thing to do. Fathers and mothers, in many cases, sometimes the aunts, sometimes the family, sometimes the very brothers and sisters themselves, get involved in killing their own family members, or like their daughter or a niece who marries outside of their own circle. The differences could be because of caste in India, that is still prevalent, or it could be because of class, that is, say, their wealth. Some rich girl marries a poor man, or a poor boy marries a rich girl, and whatever. The two classes don't mix actually, even today. So that leads them to do such horrible things. So here in this movie, you have Allu Sirish, who comes from a long line, a family, in an illustrious family, if you want to call it that. They're all into acting or production. His uncles are Chiranjeevi and Pawan Kalyan from Telugu cinema. And his cousins are this chap, Ramcharan, who's Chiranjeevi's son, who's doing very well for himself. And his own brother is Allu Arjun. So you can't expect better lineage than that. It's all packed with cinema people. So it must have taken him a lot of time to decide, how do I launch myself? And Allu Sirish is somebody who knows the business. He knows the business end of it, and he knows the acting side of it also. So he must have sat and discussed it threadbare with his family, friends, as to how he should launch himself. If he does a routine movie, then he would have been obviously compared with his cousin and with his own brother. So he decides to take a new route, which is a very sensible thing to do, because if you try to do a big action-packed movie in your very first venture, you may not succeed, and then it'll be hard to pull back from there. So here he's taken a subject that's very critical for our nation. We know it's happening everywhere, the horrific rapes of young girls in Delhi, and not only Delhi, all over the country. And the prejudice against the girl child, victimizing women, victimizing students just because they're girls, they're not sent to school, they're deprived of every opportunity to rise in life. All that is being practiced in India. And so he has picked that subject to be his first movie. Very commendable effort. And so here he is, a young man who's on a way back home, and on the way he notices the name of a village. He just sees the lamppost, the signpost, and he just turns off. And then because it's the name of that friend's name is part of that village name, or maybe the friend had mentioned the village to him. So he says, okay, let me go and check it out, see if that guy is there. So when he goes there, he finds a small town or a village. Everybody is reluctant to talk about him. And then he digs deeper and deeper, upsetting a lot of people, till he finally discovers that his friend had actually eloped or was in love with a girl from a very rich family. And the rest of the village think that those people have done something to him, but nobody's had any proof. The local policeman has closed the case, so there's no headway there. But this guy decides that I must just find out, is it true or is it not true? So he decides to dig. And in the process, he comes across a young pretty girl, that's Yami Gautam, playing a young lawyer. So she joins up with him. And of course, they form the love interest in the movie. Funnily, he doesn't do too many romantic songs with her. Yes, and there aren't too much of this billing and cooing. Very little of that in the movie. So the story is about how he motivates the villagers, and even how he networks with his old classmates. So they come down from all over the country, and they come down to the village to help him, aid him in cracking this crime. The authorities are against it. So you can already assume and guess what the reason would be. The reason is that the upper class, wealthy girl's family has interfered in it, or in some way taken part in it. So all that he cracks. How he does it forms a story. Now it's a good subject to take, because it's hot subject, as we say. We need somebody to bring subjects like this. But I think that Radha Mohan really fell on his face in this one, because he doesn't show anything about why somebody becomes, somebody who believes in honor killing. That would have been the clue to this movie. Killing and finding who did it is like a policeman's job. That's not the point. The point is to analyze and to bring to the public something that they know happened, but they should be made to think about it. That would what be an ideal filmmaker would have been able to do. Prod them into thinking, go home, discuss it. A husband and wife discusses it. So at least they will never do it in their lifetime. Or youngsters who see the movie say, I will never do it to my own sister. I'll never kill her, no matter what she does. Encourage her. Even if you think that she could do better in her life, that's her life. But that aspect has not been highlighted or not even explored. So in a way, that is a bit of a disappointment that Radha Mohan is an experienced director and knows all about the little human touches. He's not been able to get that right. I wish he had, but he didn't. So that's a major negative in it. But you have to give credit to Sirish, because at least he decided not to go for the slam bang, usual punch him, kill him all kind of movie, but go into something that's of social relevance. I don't know how well people know about the rules behind treatment of your own family, and what all trouble you can get into by doing something small and silly like slapping somebody, which will then escalate. But what the law says about that, even that is not made clear in it. What is the punishment for crimes like this? If it's very clearly shown that, listen, you go kill somebody with some silly thing called honor killing, the police will just lock you up in jail, and the judge will hand you down a sentence, and you can be hanged until death. Then that will make 10,000 people think twice, thrice, 4 times before they do anything like that. But none of those things happen. It's almost like it's just a crime to have a story. But it's a heinous crime, and that has not been brought up. But Yami does a good job being a girl from North India. She has long lines, which I was quite surprised at the way she delivered it, because, when you don't know the language and you also have to act, so she might be very good at acting because they must have, explain the situation or what the lines mean. So she can imagine in her head what I should be looking or what I should be expressing when I say these lines. But then syncing it with the lip movement of a language that she's not familiar with, so she's all the time consciously trying to make sure she's not goofing on her lines and her expressions are coming right, is a very difficult job. Which is why it hardly ever works when you bring somebody down who doesn't know the language. But in this movie, she's done a good job. That's full marks to her for that. One other thing, there are a lot of needless songs. I mean, it's like, it becomes tedious after a while. All these, and the songs are invariably the preachy variety. It's not, just stick to the love part of it and get into the movie and preach there. But the songs are all these kind of things where people are standing in lines and saying Zindabad kind of things. So it's almost like you wish you had a fast, some remote, so you can point it at the screen and just zap those songs forward. So that was a bit of a bore. But otherwise, the 2-3 good songs in it, which had nothing to do with this kind of fiery student movement business, were all very nice and listenable. Background score was good. Taman done a good job on it, and Preetha's camera work. Well, it's a village scene, so it has the standard sunsets and sunrises and lush green fields and all that's beautiful. So that is Allu Sirish's debut movie in Tamil, along with Yami's debut, Gauravam, directed by Radha Mohan. A good watch, but could have been better.